A language war has erupted once again in Karnataka. JDS Legislative Party leader H.D. Kumaraswamy has written to the Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai asking him to not celebrate Hindi Diwas in Karnataka, which is going to take place on the 14th of September. Now, what is the point of contention? Kumaraswamy in his letter has gone on to say, and I'd like to quote, India is the great union of more than 560 principalities that are socially, culturally diverse and include thousands of language and sub-languages. To extol only one language will truly be supreme injustice done to people, end quote. He's also gone on to say that on the 14th of September, it will be injustice to Kannadigas when the union government will force Hindi Diwas to be celebrated by the state government. Now, the Hindi Diwas commemorates the day when the Constituent Assembly of India was appointed Hindi as the official language of the country along with English. The listing of Hindi as official language took place on the 14th of September 1949. So, is this Hindi imposition? Are the concerns justified, or is this just politics?
You cannot have Hindi enforced upon us who have a very, very rich literary background of our classical language.
भ्रातृत्व भाव मजबूत करने के लिए कोशिश करेंगे। भ्रातृत्व भाव मतलब विरोध करना ऐसा नहीं होता है।
Straight to our newsmaker this evening, H.D. Kumaraswamy, former Chief Minister and the JDS Chief, who in fact has written this letter to the Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai, is now joining us this evening. So we appreciate you taking out time and joining us here. You've written a lengthy letter to the Chief Minister Baswaraj Bommai. Why are you against the Hindi Diwas?
No, I am not against to the Hindi Diwas. But here in this issue, why unnecessarily you wanted to organize about Hindi Diwas? Why it is required? In this country, there is several sentiment issues about local languages. Why unnecessarily create another problems? We have already several problems we are facing in this country in our communal issues. Again, by creating this language issue, why you want to disturb the people of the entire country?
No, sir, that's exactly what I'm trying to understand. You, in that letter that you've written to the Chief Minister, you've also gone on to say that if you actually go forward and celebrate this Hindi Diwas, this in fact will be an insult to Kannadigas. So what I'm essentially trying to understand is, how is a one-day Diwas going to be an insult or an imposition?
Definitely, yeah. Then are we actually Kannada Diwas we are conducting Kannada Diwas? Why you required Hindi Diwas? We are Kannadigas. Tamil Nadu, any government they encourage of thing. Kerala if they encourage this thing. Orissa if they encourage this thing. Why you in Karnataka? You required this.
No, but there is something called a
Several
Karnataka
part
Day.
of Karnataka, they are not interested.
No, but sir, there is something called a Karnataka Day which is also going to be celebrated in the state. If you just talk about, as far as some figures are concerned, Hindi is the mother tongue as far as 46% of Indians are concerned. So you can oppose it politically, but can you really deny its presence?
That is northern part of Karnataka, India. 44% what you are actually analyzing, that is northern part of India, yes. Mainly Hindi, they will use it. We know as a parliament member, when I was a parliament member, I know the background in northern part of India. But here in our southern part of India, no state, they are not interested about Hindi Diwas. Why you implement pressurizing the people?
Okay, let me rephrase the question that I'm trying to get an answer to. The JDS seems to be making this a BJP issue. The Hindi Divas wasn't started by Prime Minister Modi. It has been an inception, as I said when I started the show, since 1949. So are you just opposing it because today the BJP is the ruling state government?
No. This is not the question of we are in opposition or they are in a ruling party. This is the sentiment issue.
Okay, you saying this is a sentiment issue. The criticism against the BJP by your party for the longest time has been that BJP is polarizing the narrative of Karnataka. By opposing this Hindi Divas, aren't you also igniting passions?
No, here in this issue, madam, again and again, they are failing in all issues. They wanted to bring new issues. Here in Karnataka, the government is running by the BJP. They have several responsibility. People are fed up with this government. Why this government unnecessarily creating these kind of new issues? They are losing the confidence of the Kannadigas.
But you are saying they're creating new issues. This isn't a new issue, sir. This is actually celebrated every single year. And thus it brings me back to the same question. By celebrating a Divas for just one single day, how is one particular language being imposed?
On what cost they wanted to conduct this festival, Hindi Divas? On what cost? Who is going to invest the amount?
Okay, so you are saying the taxpayers' money shouldn't be used for a celebration like this. Then the allegation that's coming in against your party is that just because elections are nearing, your party is using this as a poll pitch.
For us, there is no doubt. By using these kind of issues, I don't want to convince the people of Karnataka. These people, they are creating this kind of issues. They want their intention only to get some votes. For that, they are misusing their powers.
Okay, you're saying the BJP is misusing this power. So what is going to be the course of action as far as your party is concerned? Will you take it up in the assembly? Will we see protests tomorrow?
Definitely, naturally, we will going to raise this issue on the floor of the House.
Okay, you will raise this on the floor of the House. Sir, we appreciate you joining us here on CNN News 18. So there you heard from HT Kumaraswamy himself, who is saying this is a sentiment issue. Why should one language be given more importance than others? But here we want to actually talk about an interesting pattern. What we are seeing in Karnataka is actually not just restricted to Karnataka. Yes, of course, the most recent one of them is of HT Kumaraswamy wanting no Hindi Divas, saying Hindi Divas is an injustice to Kannadigas. And you heard from HT Kumaraswamy saying that they will protest and they will take this to the floor of the House as well. But let's recap a little and let's go back to June of this year. TK's Ilangovan, who is an MP from DMK, he had ignited passions when he asked, what will Hindi do? Only make us Shudras. So the larger question that is being raised is that is it okay when you put down Hindi-speaking people and then say that Hindi is actually being put up on a pedestal? Is that argument even fair? On the 13th of May, K. Ponmani, a minister from Tamil Nadu, had put down Hindi speakers when he said, and I'm quoting from what he had said, will jobs come if you speak in Hindi? Who is selling pani puris in Coimbatore? It is the Hindi-speaking people. Then let's go back further. In the month of April, K. Megachandra from Manipur Congress had spoken about Hindi imposition, saying imposing Hindi is a cultural terrorism act by the BJP. Once again, in the month of April, K.T. Ramarao of the TRS had also said language chauvinism and hegemony will boomerang. So essentially what we're